Have you ever entered BookTube and felt like you were completely lost? TBR, DNF, MMC, MPG. It kind of feels like everyone is speaking in like 3-word chants and you have no idea what's going on. Honestly, when I first entered book internet, I felt like Googling every word. I had no idea what was going on. So today we'll be decoding most common bookish terms that you see online and what they actually mean in real life. Trust me, after this, you'll understand the book lingo much better. You won't feel lost scrolling book posts or watching book videos ever again. Let's begin. Chapter 1, Reading Status Terms. So these are basically the terms that kind of imply where you're currently standing with the book. First one is TBR, which means to be read. In a sense, it just means every book you want to read eventually. It's like a massive pile. In Goodreads also you can see a TBR or to be read pile. For example, my Goodreads TBR looks like this. It's ever growing and one day I'll definitely get into some of these. CR or currently reading. So this is the book you're currently reading. It could be the book in your nightstand, in your handbag, in your audiobook, or maybe all of these. DNF or did not finish. So when you stop reading the book before the end, like honestly, like I DNF a lot of books which have seriously tested my patience. Like I couldn't just get into them anymore. And there's no shame in that. There should be no shame, no guilt. It's just saving you your precious time, giving it back to you. Reread, it means picking up a book which you have already finished before. It might be a comfort read, your favorite book, and you want to experience it again. Buddy read, it's when you or one another person, could be a friend or an entire group together, you read a book together and react to it. It could be through your DMs, through Instagram, through Discord, through Goodreads and all. It's very common in readathons and these reading challenges. Like I do these buddy reads with one of my friends and we read Mariana Zapata books all the time and it's so fun. It increases the fun 10 times. Now that we have solved your reading status, let's move on to chapter 2, characters and story terms. Firstly, the most important MC, which means the main character. It's the character whose journey we are following, the main person in the story. Basically, you get it, right? So if the whole story is a journey, the main character is his or her footsteps is what we follow. Next is FMC, MMC. Yes, you might have guessed it. It's female male character or male male character. It's super common in bookish recommendations when people say that. So for example, I can say, I'm in the mood to read a morally grey FMC, or I love a chaotic MMC who's secretly soft inside. Next up is SC or the side character. This is a supporting cast who add like comfort, tension, humor, everything to the plot, and they make the plot much more real and much more alive. And sometimes like the SCs, they are so iconic that people want just a spin-off book just on them. POV or point of view. So this is the narrative lens, like who is telling the story. So suppose I say I opened the door and I noticed a big cat. So that is a first person POV. And instead if the author writes she entered a room and she saw a big cat, that's a third person POV. So when people say dual POV, it means seeing both the characters' internal worlds, like seeing the same point of time from two different perspectives. Now that we have that ironed out, let's move on to chapter 3, which is reviewing and publishing terms. First up is ARC, which is an advanced reader copy. So a lot of time publishers and authors, they send these out to, maybe social media influencers, booktubers, bookstagrammers. You get the point. Way before the book is published, so that when the book releases, it has a certain momentum, it has a certain buzz. They have read it in advance, and when it releases, people have read the reviews and comments, so they're more likely to pick them up. Next is NG or NetGalley. So this is an online digital platform where you can go and request for these ARCs instead of just waiting for a written response from the publisher or the author. And anyone can create an account and ask for an ARC. Just one thing to keep in mind, like when you're early into NetGalley, just be mindful that all the popular authors, they might not give you their books, but as you read more books, you give comments and feedback, you build trust, and you are more likely to then receive more ARCs. RTC, review to come. So you'd see this a lot on Goodreads when people are publishing their reviews, but they haven't put anything yet. It just means that, yeah, I've finished the book, I've completed reading it, but the review is yet to come. Wait for it. Next is the star rating, 5 star, 4 star, 3.5 star. It can be anything. So this is the most universal way of how people rate books. It could be in decimals, it could be in whole numbers. It can be your own internal logic of what follows. But yeah, that's how much you liked a book compared to others. Next, we move on to a very important segment, which is the safety and content awareness terms. Now, published books can deal with a lot of topics which might be heavy, which can be triggering, but it's just that many people go through a lot of things in their real life, and sometimes a book is not probably the best suited for them to read at that time. So these are there just to protect people in their mental space. So for example, the most commons are TW, trigger warning, or CW, content warning. So these are there to give a heads up to the people, to the readers, basically on what are the topics that this book deals on, which could, be a potential trigger for them if they're not at a particular mind space. So it's kind of respecting people's boundaries and just giving them a heads up and seeing if they are comfortable to enter this space in which the book deals with, in which the topics of the book deal with. So for example, it could be TW self-harm or CW gore/violence. So this kind of tell the people what they are going to enter into or whether they want to completely avoid the book itself. So they're mentally prepared and not blindsided. Chapter 5, which you'll see a lot, which is the online book community terms. First, the most important, which is MPG. Trust me, on my day-to-day life, I mean, a lot of people, I'm like, oh yeah, it was MPG this, it was MPG that, and they have no idea what I'm speaking about. Yeah, makes sense. MPG means main page genre. So it's something like a romance, thriller, historical fiction, cozy romance, cozy mystery, anything like that sort. So it kind of mainly says what is the main theme of the book. AU, alternate universe. This is kind of a reimagining when you place the same characters in a completely different setting or timeline or period or anything which is not their current reality as in the book. So for example, imagine fictional characters, in these like probably Game of Thrones characters in modern day London doing office jobs, sipping coffee, something like that. Ship, which is small for relationship. Yes, it has nothing to do with boats. It's actually just not a bookish term. People use it a lot in real day life as well. So it's basically trying to pair two characters together, even if the book maybe does not do it by the end of it, or the story does not go in that direction, but people just want those two characters to end up together. For example, the best example I can think of is Jim and Pam from The Office. Rec, which is recommendation. So it's someone is trying to recommend a book or want you to pick up the book. You'll see a lot in the YouTube book titles like fantasy recs, cozy romance recs, etc, etc. And finally, book hangover. So when you have finished a book but you just can't get over it, you're still in that mental space like the book is over but you can't move on. I recently finished We Love You Bunny and I was stuck in that world for a long time. I was not able to pick any other book up or like just move on from it. I was in its book hangover. If you have made it till here, comment below on one bookish acronym you have learned today, and probably comment on below on something common which you use and I haven't mentioned here. We all need to learn from each other. Don't forget to like if this video helped you, subscribe if you want more cozy book chats. Until then, happy reading. Bye bye. Good night. Shubh Ratri.